The Staedtler Yellow Pencil 134 is my all-time favorite wooden pencil, and as I make this claim, I've brought receipts to show you all that I'm not just saying it. These are pencils that I have been using for the better part of a decade now. In fact, more than a decade, almost 10-11 years. These are the ones that are currently in use, and then I have some more which are unsharpened. These are in 2B. I'll just keep them slightly away, and then I have some backup boxes. So these 4 boxes of these pencils I got in 2024, 24, 25, yes. Then this is from one of the first batches I bought. This is a 2014 box, and this is a 2020 box. So why do I have so many boxes of the same pencil? Well, every stationery user will know that this is almost a dying segment, and there is a lot of fear among us that your favorite products might be changed or might be discontinued over time. So whatever becomes your favorite, you try and get a lifetime supply of that product. I know this is slightly morbid because it involves estimating your lifetime and your usage and then predicting how many will be enough to last you the number of years that you've got left. So yes, but then that's life. That is something you need to do. There's another reason why I have all of these boxes out, which is to show you that not all those fears are unfounded. In fact, over the years, I have been worried that the pencil will change, and it has. This is from the 2024 box that we just opened. And let me pull out one from the 2014 box. In fact, just the color on the box you can see is different. But then you might say that no, it is the printing on the plastic and the paper that is different. So let me just show you the actual pencil inside. So this is the pencil from 12 years ago. This is the one from today. The color I am not too fussed about, but just look at the glare or the gloss. Since there is no glare on the one on the lower one, and the upper one is just, it cannot stop shining. And the problem with that is that hey, I was just repositioning the camera over there. So as we were saying, things change. The fears are not unfounded, and just look at the amount of gloss on this and how matte this is, and that takes a lot away from the product. One of my favorite things about this pencil is how it grips. It is just this finish is just perfect for holding on to it and writing for long durations or sketching, because your fingers don't slide around. And I worry that they've taken most of that away from the 2024. It is not that bad. It still is not as slippery as it could have been. If I just do a push test, it largely stays where it's supposed to. But I don't like this gloss. I really liked the 2014 stock. So this box for me is now absolutely precious, and I absolutely adore it. So to the extent that I'm not even using it. I think in my current circulation, I have 1 or 2 pencils which are really old. I try and eyeball the age of the pencil by its color and by its tactile feel, but I don't know why Staedtler is doing it. In fact, let me check if these were so here okay, this is manufactured for Staedtler. I'm just trying to check if they have shifted their manufacturing site. I know some of the Staedtler pencils that we get in India are made in Indonesia. I am not sure where these ones are manufactured. It does not say where they're made. The ones from Staedtler that are made in Germany, they very proudly state that they're made in Germany. It's almost faded on this. This is the Staedtler Norris. It says it's made in Germany, but the ones that are not made in Germany, they don't even tell you. In fact, since we're starting this experiment, what I'll do is I'll also compare a 2026 stock to, I think this is to one of my older stocks, and then see. This one's the 2020 stock, which is slightly less glossy, and maybe this one. I'll see if I can find one. In fact, let me just pause. Oh, here it is. This one is very lightly used, but again, the color seems to be 2014, but no, I don't know if I have any 2014 stock in circulation right now. Oh, this one feels closer to it. Let's see. Okay, let's move on quickly. So what we're going to do is, as always, we're going to look at how the pencil writes, how it feels, how the shape, size, balance, whether I enjoy using it for writing and for sketching, and in the end, a buy or no buy decision. Having seen my level of madness for this pencil, I am sure you already know that this is going to be a buy decision. So let's just start with what we already know. We get the standard boxes in. This is the Staedtler 134 pencil, and specifically in this review I'll be talking about HB, and there will be a little side note about 2B. In fact, this is where the buy recommendation becomes important, because don't just buy any of these. I had a very bad experience with the 2B pencils that I got. I have some of them here, and in fact, let me come back to this when I talk about that specific segment. But most importantly, if we have a buy and a do not buy box here, the HB versions, getting everything in the camera, the HB versions are firmly in the buy box, and the 2B versions, unless you can go to a physical store and check and test them and make sure that you're getting a decent quality, I would say avoid the 2B. Do not buy these pencils in 2B. They have a lot of quality issues, and the most important quality issue at that. With that said, let's get started and answer the question, why do I have a lifetime supply of this pencil? And the answer is very simple. The answer is that I absolutely love these pencils. What all is there to love, or what all can be there to love in a pencil? I think it starts at first sight and the first time you hold it. There's something special about seeing this yellow colored pencil with a black ferrule at the end and an orange cap. It screams pencil. This is what somehow the idea of pencil has been in our minds. Then when you hold it, the weight, in fact, let's just do this. So first is, it looks like a pencil should. Second, it feels exactly like an ideal pencil should. What do I mean by that? It is long because it has the attached rubber and the ferrule, the eraser at the end with the rubber and the ferrule. So it is long, and for a longer pencil, it needs to have a certain amount of weight to it. And the weight on this is perfect. It has stayed consistent over the last 12 years that I've been using it, and that just makes it wonderful. My grouse with the Staedtler Norris and also the the Tigs that I reviewed recently. This one is coming. This one is reviewed. Uh, this one, both of these feel very hollow. They individually just feel much lighter than a pencil should of that size. Or maybe I am used to it and I've been spoiled by how wonderfully weighted, balanced, constructed this is, that I can't get over that fact, and I just enjoy using these so much that nothing else compares. So it looks absolutely perfect. It feels absolutely perfect. The lead is where the slight challenge starts coming in, and this is also, I think at times they say, beauty is in the flaws, and that probably is the case for me for this pencil as well. Let me just give you some audio. Can you hear this? Yeah. So, this pencil, the lead is not the smoothest. It is slightly toothy. It is slightly rough. Just that hint of roughness, which gives it such an amazing sound when you're writing. It just feels like it just makes the entire writing experience a lot more complete. If I get, let's say, the Norris in, you'll see that this is smoother. It has a dull sound to it. In fact, we can also use this for lead comparison. Um, this was the Ticonderoga. This is the Staedtler Norris. And this, of course, is the 134 that we are currently using. So it sounds perfect. It has a little bit of tooth. It just grips onto the paper ever so slightly as you're writing, which gives increased control and just is the perfect balance between smoothness and roughness. And one of the reasons I absolutely adore this pencil. So the lead is perfect, but the lead has a flaw. The flaw is that it is this what brings it the roughness is also the flaw, so that when you start shading it, every once in a while, this lead ends up leaving a streak on the paper. Um, as usually happens during reviews, the problem will not surface when I'm trying to show it. But effectively, what happens is there is a patch of hard clay that will probably come in once you shade when you're shading, and you don't get even shades. What you get is you'll get the slight streaks in your shading. So as a result, this is not a pencil that you want to be using if you're doing a lot of shading on a particular day. However, it works well for sketching and for writing. Yeah. So you can do outlines, you can do broad strokes, you can do your forms, but if you really want to start filling them in, this is not the pencil you want to be doing it with. You might want Norris. I've experienced works well. Even these TIG pencils, they do okay. Or you can go into the specialized pencils from Staedtler, which is a part of the Mars range. That should work well as well. In fact, at this point, since we've spoken about lead, let me let me just sharpen this pencil, and maybe let's do it on camera. So what I'm trying to do is I've been using some of the older stock, and I just want to ensure that the latest pencils are of similar quality. I think from the from the stock that I got a few years back. Um, Sorry, I shook the camera a little bit. Oops. And there you see it. The lead sharpened and it broke. Generally, if this is happening, it means that the lead is not properly centered. Oh, so let me just look at the camera. And maybe this one's not centered. Maybe it is. Let's try a different sharpener. So this is the KUM long point. That is a Faber Castell sharpener. That's a decent sharpener. But let's just see if it passes this one. I am really worried now. This is not a good sign. It is not sharpening well at all. And Oh God. Staedtler, thank you very much for having ruined my favorite pencil. Um, and maybe we should reconsider the buy no buy decision. This is just refusing to sharpen. Let's just do this one. Let's see what happens if once we're just going to go. Oh, yeah, it does not want to sharpen. This was brand new. I've consumed a lot of length of it. So this problem, and one of the reasons I loved this pencil was because this never happened with the HB ones. The reason I was saying stay away from the 2B pencils is because the lead is not centered. You see this? And you can clearly see that the lower half here is longer if it just focuses than the upper half over here. So with the lead not being fully centered, this is the problem that happens. The lead breaks and it does not sharpen very well. So until 2020, all the stock that I'd received worked very well. This was a very consistently well made pencil. Let's get another one out of the 2024 lot. And let's just see. It's been lying for so long. I was so happy that I got stock, that I received it. I put it inside my cupboard and never opened it because I had a lot of them in circulation already. I just hope it's a one-off pencil issue and not the entire lot, because that would be very, very bad. Who would have thought I'd be sharpening pencils on video? But I don't know if you can feel the tension. I can feel it. Oh, the lead is coming out. Maybe it's just a one pencil thing. Let's see if it goes on. Okay, this seems to be doing well. In fact, this is a good demo of the sharpener as well. This is a two-stage sharpener. We've just done the first stage, at the end of which it will reveal the lead, and once that lead is out, you put it in the second stage, and then you convert that exposed lead into a point. Okay, I am still worried. I'm not sure if this will survive the lead pointing or if it's going to give up on me. This is bad. This is not very inspiring. The oh God, look at this mess. Anyway, I was about to say, the reason I sharpened with this was that these Staedtler pencils, the way I like using them is with a small point. In fact, this one and this one, if you see, most of the pencils that I have in circulation, I have them sharpened to a relatively short point, and that is how I enjoy using these pencils. However, this is a longer point, of course, because sharpener is also called long point from KUM. This is a great sharpener. One of my all-time favorites for the desk, or if you have enough space in your bag to carry this, this is one you must carry or you must consider. Anyway, so I usually use these pencils with a smaller point sharpener. The previous pencil refused to work with this one, so we have ended up with a long one. I think the paint is okay. It is not as slippery as the gloss suggests. The feel is also okay. I'm not terribly disappointed. I was worried, but this is okay. The lead seems to have gotten slightly smoother and darker. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let's just quickly do a smudge test. Compare this new one. This is T24, and this is an old one, 2020 or 14. I think you can see the difference in color between the two. Um, and if you just, this one also smudges more. I'm sure you can see the smudge. This smudge is less, this smudge is more. So has Staedtler ruined? And this changes. This is not the video I had started making. I had started with the intent of telling you all that this is my absolute favorite, unconditional favorite. Don't even think about it. If you want a good pencil, just go out and buy this. And now here we are, questioning our reality together. Just 1 second. So let's turn this, turn a page metaphorically and literally, and let's see if this one continues to be the pencil that the model number it carries. I think from the looks, paint, and feel and weight perspective, looks is identical. The paint I think is almost there. Could have been the older one was better. This is very slightly slippery, but it's okay. The weight is perfect. It is just how it used to be. The lead seems to be improved, but um, I like I like the older one better. And what I really loved about the old LEDs. So now this review you need to watch in two parts. If you can get your hands on NOS, which is new, old, stock, lap it up quickly or don't. Tell me where it is and I will buy it. But new old stock, the lead was just something else. This one also seems to be similar, but not as great. So one of the best things about that lead was the way it held the point. And did it hold a point? So in my experience, up to 3 A4 sheets and at times more, I have been able to write through without sharpening, and that is quite a feat. Most of the 2 mm lead holder leads also do not perform that well, and it is just amazing how long and comfortably these old leads would keep writing. And I think there was something about the inherent roughness that allowed them uh, to still write as if they're sharpened despite having been dulled over time over the writing session. This was magic. This old stock was absolutely magic. This I think is close. Let me just do this. You'll see that the color has changed from light gray. It has become more of a darker tone of lead, and whether it holds a point, I'll probably do a longer writing session with this one and update in the comments below. So make sure to look at the description and comments for an update on how this lead performs for writing. But my early impressions are that it should hold up, though it might not be as good as the previous one. Now the eraser, I don't use these pencils for the erasers. I think the back end erasers are just, I personally like to maintain them as they are, only use them in case of a dire emergency, because one, they work pretty bad. They're not really usable. The newer pencils seem to have better erasers, but then they harden over time. And I like to keep the pristine look of the pencil and the weight and balance of having the eraser at the back. I value that more than a functional eraser. I usually have a regular eraser at hand, so that is not typically a problem for me. I've just looked at my notes. We have covered almost everything that I had to say. The one thing that was a big selling point or a big buying point for me was the precision with which these were made, and how they managed to center the lead every single time, and not until this HB pencil, which is absolutely horrendous. I have not had an HB yellow pencil do this to me. Extremely disappointed. Huh. Um. What else? I think that's about it. I started the video very excited. I am closing it. Quite terribly disappointed with what has happened. So I think these two old stock boxes from 2014 and 2020 become even more precious, and I might end up using these new ones as scrubbers. Um, what would my final recommendation be? I would say let's just do this writing, drawing, and we'll do this twice. So the upper ones are the old stocks on a scale of 1 to 7. The lower one is for the new stock or the new manufacturing date, 1 being the lowest, 7 being the highest. The old one was just perfect for writing. Huh. There's nothing that compared despite its flaws. The new one's okay. It's not too good, not too bad. And oops, this is the new one for writing. For drawing also, the old one was, you couldn't shade with it, and that was a problem. So maybe around a 4 to 5, because you could sketch but not shade. And the new one I have not tested, so assuming it'll be slightly worse, I don't know. Maybe we should refresh the buy no buy. I would say that given the quality issue, how the pencil did not sharpen, and what all they have changed with the lead, this is not the pencil that it used to be. So it's okay. This is, I'm okay if you buy it or don't buy it. You're not really missing anything. For the weight and the feel of it, you might still want to get it. But if they're going to be this crappy and they're not going to sharpen, and like their 2B pencils earlier, they're not going to see this. Oh, I had marked these out. See, these ones, the leads are not centered. Just out of a box of 12, I think just 2 or 3 or 4 were usable. Most of the others were just unusable. So I don't know what is going to happen with this box. Let me just take all of these out for you. This is almost half an hour. Oh god. I hope you guys enjoyed me breaking down live on camera, as I was disappointed horribly by these once favorite products of mine. Even if you didn't, let's just see. The wood is red now. It used to be very light. See. This might be a centering issue. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But be careful. If you get these are not the same pencils they were. They will be okay, but I'd say I would rather stay safe and go for the more consistent pencils, because these are disappointing. I am sorry I have to say that about one of my favorite pencils, but it is what it is. And on that note, we've completed 30 minutes, possibly my longest video. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. and have a wonderful day as always. Bye bye.